Headlights, motorcycles, after a limousine. A chase in the streets of Paris. It came to an end in one of the tunnels. Lady Diana, Princess of Wales, her lover, Dodi Al-Fayed, and their driver didn't live to tell the tale.
I would say that I always believed the press would kill her in the end. It would appear that every proprietor and editor has blood on his hands today.
A couple fleeing. These are the last pictures of Diana taken shortly before her death. Shots from the hotel where they had been staying. Outside, the paparazzi were already on the lurk, waiting for any thrilling news. The driver even yelled at them, "Today you won't catch us." A fatal promise. Later, the police recorded 1.8% alcohol in the driver's blood after examinations were carried out. Was it only a tragic accident?
It's just a mystery, you know. I believe my son have not gone in a natural way. Till this prove to me that he gone a natural way, I'm not gonna rest.
For days, even weeks, the paparazzi had been chasing after the coveted pictures of Diana and her new boyfriend.
She told me, I've never been happier in my life. I've been treated and nursed, and I've never experienced what I'm going through.
Shots from her childhood. Diana was born in 1961. There was one goal for her: security. Her parents were divorced. First, Diana was living with her mother, then later on with her father. A young man, a prince. He might be the one for Diana.
Lady Fermoy, the grandmother, and the Queen Mother wanted that marriage. Prince Philip and the Queen wanted Charles to marry because they wanted an heir too.
Years later, the whole world knew about the planned wedding, and the young kindergarten teacher was suddenly in the limelight.
That was one of the great tragedies in my view, that no one ever told her that this is what is going to happen to you, this is what your life is going to be like. You're going to have to plan things years, months in advance all the time. And I think, yes, she got extremely nervous just before the wedding, and she was wondering whether it was the right thing to do. By then it was too late.
July 1981, the Crown Prince and his bride said the magical "I do." This was the wedding of the decade. Though behind the royal scenes, a tragedy was lurking. The couple spent their honeymoon on board the Britannia. But Diana soon discovered something very disconcerting.
One day his diary fell open and some photograph fell out of Camilla. And much later on though, when she came to think about why the marriage had gone wrong, she claims it started pretty much from the honeymoon.
The royal family put on a happy face, and 1 year after the wedding, Diana gave her prince and the country a priceless gift. She gave birth to a healthy crown prince. In reality, the royal couple could not really discover too many common interests. Diana walked her own path. To the delight of the media, she showed great empathy for those less fortunate. The Queen of Hearts. Everywhere she appeared, people adored her. She was always the center of attention, unlike her prince.
I've come to the conclusion that really it would have been far easier to have had two wives. To have covered both sides of the street. And I could have walked down the middle, directing the operation.
Diana was the most photographed woman, but she was unable to get rid of the ghosts.
The way to understand Diana is as celebrity. And celebrities collude with their media coverage. They often hate it. They often go screaming, "Why can't I be left alone?" But if they are left alone for 2 days, it's really rather like trying to break the habit of cocaine.
After the birth of her second son, Diana's marriage was only the shadow of a real marriage. Even the world saw the external signs. Diana was struggling with severe eating disorder. First suicide attempts, then romantic liaisons. James Hewitt, the jockey, then others, passing whims. Charles responded to her biography with an interview.
The Queen was very unhappy, and the Queen made it absolutely clear that the marriage now had to end in divorce, and as a direct result of that TV interview, the Queen wrote letters to Diana and to Charles telling them to end their marriage.
15 years after the legendary wedding, the hellish royal marriage came to an end.
I said, "Well, I hope you're happy now and relaxed." I said, "No, on the contrary, it's the most unhappy day of my life because I lost the only man I really love in my life, and I lost the biggest aim of my life is to have a happy family."
A happy mother with her children, even this pleasure is lost. The Queen insists on bringing up the Crown Prince herself. However, fortune smiled once again on the princess in the person of Dodi Al-Fayed, a millionaire playboy. His father, an Egyptian businessman living in London, desired with all his heart to be viewed as British.
They don't accept that. How can, my son can be a future husband, and will be a stepfather to the future king. Still, this racism and hypocrisy.
Then how exactly did the accident happen that night? Were the Secret Service involved as well? Rumors and legends. Case closed. Everything implies that it was a tragic accident, though Diana could have survived it.
She was not even in the hospital until 101 minutes after the original crash. I think that contributed to her death, and I think she could have been saved had she had definitive care, had she been in the operating room much, much earlier, which she could have been.
The death of Diana shocked the whole world. Once again, the British bore witness by showing who was the real queen for them. The Queen of Hearts. More than 1 million people mourned her on the streets of London. More than 2.5 billion television viewers in 187 countries witnessed the funeral of a woman who lives on as a legend.